This that Red Panda Anthem.
Ian, what's up?
This that Red Panda Anthem.
Red Panda, what's good?
Jim Cronos says he's still shorting Tesla as EV competition increases. Profit margin peaks. How do you feel about him shorting Tesla? Is this the time to be shorting Tesla?
I wouldn't. They have too much fanfare. Hedge funds like them too much. Now, if Michael Burry said this, I would. Michael's normally like in his positions 30% higher than, lower than I would like. But if you look at the stock historically for Tesla, the range to short it would be like around the 350 mark, or even like at, I can understand at 312. It's at 166 right now. Like, this is an area in which you should be like accumulating a position. Like, if I go look at this chart all time, so like the ideal areas to buy Tesla are like in that $12.42 range, $69 and $92.38. So he's starting to short in an area where it's like 70% off of the ideal value for what a company should be. Huge mistake. I mean, we were saying that before the show. I'm like, he's gonna get his face ripped off. Because if a couple of institutional funds get behind it and they keep performing how they have, and once again, like if he gets focused on one company or he integrates those into a portfolio company, kind of like Alphabet did with Google, that's going to be a tough position to be shorting. So I think it's a mistake. I think he's a good investor, but I think a little bit of hubris got involved here. I wouldn't be shorting Tesla here. Oh, huge mistake.
Yeah. I concur.
Huge mistake. And also that there's very little upside to shorting equities long term unless you have swaps on them or futures or like options to like just flat out short the stock. Like you're capped in what you can gain from the upside. And I can see if we had like a tailwind in the market where it's just like 2008 level, everything was falling apart. There was like a systemic ruining of capital markets at one time, and there's still money flowing into the market. I think, although Tesla could fall a little bit further, I did state the price in which I love Tesla to load the boat up at. Shorting here is a huge mistake. So no, but kudos to him, but this is not going to play out well. The only person I listen to blindly probably will be Michael Burry and Paul Tudor Jones. And right now, Michael Burry is not short Tesla at all. And he was previously. It's a bad price to get in. There's no such thing as a bad market, only bad entries into it.
So let's talk about FaZe Clan.
What happened?
FaZe Clan, legendary video gaming.
How about I give you the ticker and you can tell us what happened?
FaZe Clan, legendary video gaming crew who made history by going public on the stock market last year via SPAC, billion dollar valuation.
FaZe.
Had a high of $24 and it's currently at 70 cents and faces possible delisting after 6 months of being on the NASDAQ. Now, FaZe Clan is a company that I have said several times that I can see EYL kind of modeling a path forward. I retract that statement. I still respect everything that FaZe Clan
shout out to them in the interview,
and what they have built, but we don't want to follow that footstep of getting delisted 6 months into the situation.
Yeah, we can say this one dead, as Biggie would say, nothing but slow singing and flower bringing. The burger alarm start ringing. Like, if we look at the volume, it's only 11 million shares traded.
Yeah.
This month in enero. At its peak, 52 million. That was August of last year. I mean, and any company that took the SPAC route, I mean, you know, but we both got pitched to take one public. Thank God we didn't. So a couple of things weren't adding up. He was like, well, you didn't say he's going to be involved. Like, you didn't say no chance. And I did not say that. I need 10 million before I do that. Yeah, it's the companies that had no value are going to die. Normally, if you have to go a SPAC route and you're not publicly traded and you're not on a big exchange, there's a reason why. That's like the guys who like, well, I ain't gonna say that about basketball players, never mind. But like if I'm great at playing basketball and I never made it to the league, there's only so much ish I can talk, right? The SPAC is like, what's lower than the G League?
You gotta go like by country after that. Like,
so if I'm playing in,
I don't want to say Puerto Rico, but
Armenia.
No, we're not gonna do that.
Crazy.
Armenia.
Yeah, if I'm playing over there, like I'm not as good as I think I am. So the SPAC route, I mean, all the SPACs fell apart.
So the SPAC is a backdoor way to get listed on the stock market without having to go
When you're not good enough to go the main route.
without having to go through all of the red tape and regulation and all of that stuff that you would do traditionally to get listed on the stock market. And that was very popular in the last couple of years. A lot
Record-breaking numbers.
A lot of SPACs.
They're breaking records now, falling from 24 to.
So is that over? Is the SPAC
71
wave
cent.
over?
Yeah,
Hell yeah, it's dead.
That
Just with options, NFT, all the other I said too. But no, Rashad, why you let Ian act crazy like that? I was trying to save y'all.
so
Now I'm just gonna be bougie and go to the Grammys and the Oscars and wave like this.
So here's what happens in the delisting process, because it feels like this is going to be inevitable. Under NASDAQ rules, any company that fails to close above the $1 mark for 30 consecutive days is issued a deficiency notice, which can trigger a delisting. They're on pace for that. It's not an immediate action, but once the notice is issued, the company has 180 calendar days to return to compliance, meaning it must close above $1 for 10 consecutive days, and some companies receive a grace period of 180 days if they meet special requirements. So it's time to raise the red, well, I guess the white flag.
It's time to get the caskets out.
Yeah, this does not look good for the good folks over at
And
FaZe.
trading was halted for Bed Bath & Beyond too the other day because they defaulted on their loan.
Yeah, let's talk about this Bed Bath & Beyond. So Bed Bath & Beyond halted after defaulting on their credit line. What can we learn from this situation? And is Bed Bath & Beyond stock dead?
Espiritu Santo Muerte, right? I asked you guys 2 weeks ago, going to Bed Bath & Beyond after the episode, I went in, stayed in there 45 minutes, was on Instagram. Saw 9 people walk in. 2 people bought things. I'm not a business expert and I'm no Milton Friedman of any sort, but if you buy, if 9 people come in and 2 people buy and the average purchase is probably $40, not too well. These businesses are dead. Like, we're going through a revolution and where things are changing. People don't want to leave their house to buy anything. Who's Bed Bath & Beyond's number 1 competitor? Amazon. Tough competitor to have. Even if you want to go Wayfair or Restoration Hardware, tough competitors to have. This is not 1999 to 2003 where you're going to go in there and get your little candles and get it cracking. It's over with. Bad management.
Yeah. And it don't matter how many 20% coupons you get. Is not.
Which, even on that, if you sell on price and discount alone, look at what happens on average. Disaster. As you take Hermes or Chanel, I know some of y'all still wearing Balenciaga, Rolls Royce, Mercedes. When you're at the higher tier brackets, you're able to stay in business a lot longer, have more profits, because economies of scale do matter when you have a luxury price point. That's why even people tell me I charge too much. I'm like, I hear you, but all the ones that charge too little go out of business too fast. Like, I don't see a hedge fund doing 0% management fee and then getting 3% on the back end for the culture. Some are doing 4 and 40 now. Pricing matters. Pricing matters. But rest in peace to Bed Bath & Beyond.
Hold your head.
I would like for you to pay me by the hour.
Hold your head.
In the words of Dwayne Carter.
The legend.
All right. Last thing. What are 3 of the biggest industries or opportunities we should focus on in the next decade?
Number 1, it's a really tough industry to crack into. Homework assignment, you need to go look up nuclear fusion. I talked about this last year. But now we're starting to see some breakthroughs in that space. And unfortunately, like when sciences get moving and a lot of money is invested there, we usually don't receive a lot of capital. But nuclear fusion is going to be like an industry that's going to be ginormous over the next 10, 15 years. Number 2, while everyone's focusing on automation, I would love for one of you to make an enterprise version of ChatGPT or some automation so we can take it to every company on earth and say, hey, if you lay off 10% of your workforce, I can give you the results as if you hired 60% of the current staff that you have now and do it for a 1/90th of the price. Pay us $15 million up front. Companies are looking to do that now. They just haven't been able to crack the code. You think they are building ChatGPT and having new versions come out every month so you can make fire Instagram posts and blog posts? Nope. That Slack deal didn't look so damn well. So it's pretty smart if they took that technology over there and helped CRM rebuild their business for Adobe or Cisco, which is falling apart by the seams. So automation on the enterprise level is going to be a multi-billion-dollar business. And the last one is back on the science side. We need more research. We need more people from the culture on the research side to prevent and understand what the next pandemic is going to be. One of my favorite video games, even though I don't play many, amazing TV show, Last of Us. I talked about this last year as well. So Toxoplasma gondii, which is an infectious disease that attacks the brain. Going back to this, always foreshadowing in these shows, because consultants from different organizations are paid to be on the writing staff. We need to find a preventative cure if there's like a mass fungal outbreak at scale. And I know everyone's going to be like, it's crazy, but then we had the little cough and the little bat soup lie conspiracy theory that happened that turned out to be COVID. So on the sciences side, the life sciences, we need more of us there. And then on the business side, we need commercial automation at scale. So those are the 3 industries. Like if you want to get really rich over the next 10 years, are 3 that you should focus on for sure.
Those are good.
Thank you.
I'll add, because I thought you would go there, but I'll add cybersecurity in there. And I thought you were going to go there when you were talking about data, but data and analytics companies. If one of the things, like we said after we came back from Switzerland, was like, yo, they're collecting data at a different rate, and the way they're getting it is, like, it'll blow your mind. What they're gonna do with it, they're never gonna tell you. You'll be a product of it. And so I think data and analytics, obviously we spoke about Palantir, but companies like Oracle, IBM, who are already huge in this space, I think it only keeps growing. And then obviously healthcare, right? If we're talking about spaces and we're talking about disease and we're talking about treatment, this is one of those things that is recession proof. It's going to be around for every decade because we're always going to need treatment, and people are always going to get sick. People are always going to be born. People are always going to die.
Healthcare is probably the number one industry to be in. And if I was a black creator starting, if one of you can find out what the value, I'm gonna go my little Joe Budden, right? What the value of a stream is, right? If you can identify what the value of a Spotify, YouTube stream is really worth and put that out to the public and help them get those streams, but then you will be attacking the entire industry of Spotify and how they're in bed with the labels. But the great part about the music industry is if you build great tech, they'll let you come in and destroy the industry on their behalf, just to partner with you. Can anyone tell me what the real value of a stream is on YouTube, Spotify right now? That's a lot higher than what they're paying out.
This that Red Panda Anthem.
Ian, what's up?
This that Red Panda Anthem.
Red Panda, what's
This
good?
that Red Panda Anthem.
Your
Whole
boy.
clip going up. I know they can't stand it.